Well, I made a list of stuff that I had said in previous videos that I was going to talk about, and I haven't so far. So I'm going to talk about them now a little bit. And again, I know everybody here knows what I'm about to say. Now, if I say something wrong, sing out and tell me I'm wrong, because I'm okay with that. I do not know everything about anything, so I'm here to learn as well as anybody else. I did have a question come up on what RMS is, and the fact that people call like the W5 RAV or the K5 RAV or the W5 STX RMS nodes. They're not technically nodes, they're radio message servers. So RMS gateway, of course, isn't just an RMS server that's connected to the internet. When we go through this, let me exit out of there. Hey, we got another joiner. It's like, man, I'm glad we got done talking about him before he came in. Hi, Dr. Dave. He doesn't have any video either, Brad. Your video's back working now, so.
Or audio.
Yeah, well, he's muted, so that's on him. Okay, I'm gonna carry on. I'll continue on. I'll pick on David more as we go along. Stepping down through here, we've got packet WinLink. Packet, of course, is a digital mode that uses the AX25 signaling protocol. It isn't as popular these days as it once was due to the fact that it's not as fast as some of the other what's available. There's Pactor, and I did poke some fun at them on the last video. Basically due to the cost of their modems, because they've, as far as us common folk, such as myself, there's no way I'm ever going to own one. If I was going to an EOC or something like that, where you have an organization that can fund those, then they're great. They're the best you can get. Pactor modems. There's robust packet WinLink, which is again based on Pactor. It basically is Pactor, except it operates on a 500 hertz bandwidth instead of the up to 3000 or 2900, I think it is. RDOP, and I'm glad Dr. Dave is here to hear this. RDOP is, let's see, I got the definition over here. I've got a little hidden thing. Amateur Radio Digital Open Protocol. Now, I've heard some individuals say that RDOP is going away. I'm not from Missouri, but I'm going to use a Missouri phrase, show me. And the reason I say that, I'll believe it when I see it, because every time Microsoft comes out with another thing like Windows 11, Linux gets a little more popular. Well, Linux really struggles with running WinLink Express, but it'll run Pat WinLink just fine. And Linux has a hard time with the Vera software. It isn't impossible to make it run on Linux, but it's fussy and it takes a lot of settings. And it just isn't very popular on Linux. So one thing that is with Pat WinLink is RDOP. And there's more and more users of RDOP every day. Every time somebody says that's enough Windows for me, I'm going to Linux and still do ham radio stuff, they're going to be using RDOP. So again, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not saying it can't happen or it won't go away, but it's getting more popular now than, I mean, it took a little nosedive for a while, but it's coming back a little bit, I think. Just my opinion. Vera HF. Vera, in general, was developed by a fellow in Spain, EA5HVK, and is very, very popular, and it's a very well put together software package. Vera HF, software-based sound card modem. It's used on amateur HF bands, anywhere from 160 meters up to 6 meters. It'll do 54 megahertz. If you use the tactical bandwidth of 2750, it can transfer up to almost 8,500 bits per second. And then Vera FM, of course, put the cursor on there. As with the HF version, Vera FM is software-based sound card modem made by the same guy. Its primary use, as the name suggests, is 2-meter FM. I don't know that there's any way to connect to like a 70 centimeter here in the Valley, unless you have someone else that's running 70 centimeter FM. You could do a peer-to-peer with them possibly. Oh, and then Iridium Go WinLink is the Iridium satellite phones. I'm not sure where that noise is coming from, but I'm going to do some. I think I'm going to mute just so I can hear what's going on. Okay, and so Iridium is satellite phones, and there is a way to WinLink does support the Iridium Go phone link, so you can do WinLink Express via your sat phone, which is, you think about it, that is a way to get a message around the globe. You could put something on the utilize satellite. So, and there again, the price of a satellite phone, I don't suppose I'll probably ever own one. I've seen them used. The power plant I worked at for many years in their EOC and their backup EOC, they had I think 2 or 4 sat phones there and available, just in case the big oh my god happened. So fortunately it never did. So that's it for those modes. I'm going to go ahead and start a Vera HF session. Is any comment from anybody on anything I've said so far?
The only thing I'd say, Wayne, is when you talk about packet, and I realize there won't be a lot of people that know the difference, but WinLink Express works with 1200 baud packet. There is no 9600 baud packet in the Valley, of which I'm aware. And if I'm wrong about that, Steve, correct me.
You're muted.
Some people experimented a while back, but it never got past that.
Experimentation. Yeah, very true. I've only been able to connect to 1200. I experimented also with it very early on when I first got my setup working the first time around. Actually, Dr. Dave helped me get things up and running on Vera FM, and then once I had that, then I went back to the what is it, UB7HZO or whatever it is, the software version of packet, and I got that set up and running. And 1200, yeah, you're right, 1200 is all you're going to find. And really, that's fine. It's pretty fast. I mean, it's not Vera FM, but it's pretty fast. And for just general messages, text messages, and that kind of stuff via WinLink, it works pretty well. I've been satisfied with it. Okay, so what I got running here, I could almost, I'm not going to do it. It bugs me the way this thing picks up part of my second monitor. I need to run something animated over there to keep diverting people's attention. All right, so where we're at with, we said there was a couple other things I wanted to touch on here that I said in previous videos that was going to cover. And Brad, you and I talked about the help file that I couldn't find that one day.
Yes.
That's right up here in this main WinLink Express. When they say check your help file, they mean this one, not the one that's online on the website. So if you go to help contents, there is just an amazing amount of information that's available. As far as how to set it up, they've got stuff on specific radios in here. A couple of them are a little out of date, but as I was reading through it, but anyway, that's where I finally found when they said check the help file. Well, go look where it says help, and you know what? It was there. And now I'm going to put these back up. And let's see, what else was I going to talk about? Steve, you have access to the groups IO page, the District 21 groups IO. Is that true?
Yeah, the 21, yes.
Okay. I'm going to put a link up there because I'm putting it in chat. And that is a link to, actually, this is the TxRACES. This is the main TxRACES groups IO page. And there's a PDF form that they have saved on there as far as radio only. And I said, I think it was either our first or second video that there was a PDF out there that did a good job of covering how to set up radio only. And I keep hoping that, somebody more local would get set up as a message pickup service. I don't know. The closest one I have right now is 117 miles away. Which I can usually connect to, but not always. So if I had one that's, let's say, 31 miles away, that would be excellent. If ever that, just stars lined up and it happened. I'm going to hell. I know I am. All right. That was what I said I would do, and now I have. So we'll get back to where we were. In previous videos, I talked about attachments, and I'm set up to do, I'm set up on just a regular connect to, it's just a regular WinLink or Vera HF session, I'm sorry. And I can hit start here and I can connect to this one because I did earlier today and transferred a couple of tiny files, things like that. So I know that was working. One thing I need to change is push that button and make that green go clear across the screen up there. Templates. To get into the templates, and there's a few I want to focus on. Basically, you just go up and hit the new message icon. And this is where we had problems with one of our folks during the statewide exercise. That person is not present here tonight, but he would open this and somehow tried to attach the template to this message, and it never came through successfully. So he didn't get counted. But anyway, and that's why I was kind of hoping he would be on here tonight. We would hit select template, and that opens a template manager. And the ones that we kind of focus on, really, there's a few that we use more than others, but any of these might come into play depending on what we're responding to, or what kind of exercise we're doing, or what kind of practice we're doing. But there's several of these, and under standard, you got ARC, there's some for California, Canadian, there's some FEMA forms in here. Typically, I want to go first to general forms. And there's a couple here. One of the ones that you might find yourself using would be this field situation report, SITREP. You just double click that. It's going to open your browser and allow you to fill in the template. And it will prompt you if you leave something out. These forms typically will go ahead and prompt you like, oh, did you want to add this, or should you maybe add that? One thing you can do is you can click setup in here, and it will allow you to modify this title up here so that it's more aimed more at what you actually have going on, whether it's an exercise or whatever. When you hit submit down here, before you hit submit, if you think you're going to be sending more than one of these anytime soon, you just hit save field situation data, and it's going to save a text file on, I think it's in your downloads folder. And I set up another folder off RMS Express on my root drive that I move those kinds of things to, so I can find them quickly. But if you have filled one out recently and you know this is going to be pretty similar, you just go up here and click load field situation data, and it's going to load 99% of the stuff for you. You can go in and change the minor details that you need to change. I'm not going to send one of those, but that's one of the ones I wanted to focus on. There'll be a test later. Okay, maybe not a test. If we go back to general, and WinLink check-in. We use this a lot. We race these folks the Thursday night where we get together through via the Groups IO, the State RACES Groups IO page. About 90% of the time, we'll send I'll send one of these to everybody that has shown up, and they'll send one to me, and that's about it for practice. Now, if we have any newbies that come in, or everybody's trying to learn or something, then we kind of pair off and send some messages back and forth and make suggestions on ALC settings and those kinds of things. And that's something I should probably touch on before we get out of here tonight. But again, you can hit setup and you can change some of your title up here and that kind of stuff. Before you hit submit, if you think you're going to send some more of these, you can load, you can save check-in data. The nice thing about this and several of these forms is it has the latitude, longitude, and of course your grid square you've entered it during settings. But that allows me to do that mapping, or it just depends on the stuff that's coming in. Moving on from general forms, there's ICS. So if we come down to ICS USA, we recently in the statewide exercise, we used 205, and we would want to fill one of those out. If you're on a real deal, you want to get one of those prepared so people know where you're going to be located. I mean, as frequency wise, what date, what time, how you can be reached, and you can add all that information in there. The 213, of course, general message, that's what we collected our 5 bits of information on for the statewide exercise, but it's just a general purpose form that provides a standardized methodology for conducting information from one point to another. So this is one where if somebody handed you a list of medications, if you have it electronically, you do a quick copy and paste into this message and hit your to button and fill out the other fields and hit send, and you've got her taken care of. And then the last one is the 309 that I want to point out is 309, and I'm going to pop that one open. But then I learned something here just less than a month ago. I found out about this. This is something you probably should do, especially in a real emergency, as you have time. Yeah, I mean, you can write this stuff down, use pencil and paper and write it down, and then transfer it on here later if you so desire, or you can just have this open and off to the side in your browser and fill it out as you go. But it would be good to have a log of what messages did you receive, what messages did you send, did you relay any messages, the subject, if there's any sensitive information in there, of course you kind of paraphrase or whatever over here. But this is a form that you could very well see in use. What I learned about this though is I'm going to go ahead and close this for now. If you had, see, I've got my inbox and outbox pretty much cleaned out. I'm going to do that and that again. I have had this pretty full of, like, I got this, and so all the messages that I've received. And like I said, last time or two, after they're on here for a while and after you read them, they will eventually go over to read item file. So this can get pretty full, especially if you're in the heat of battle, moving a lot of information in and out. That's going to get pretty full. Well, when you get done, if you want to generate a 309, you just come up here to message and generate a 309 communications log. And this is just a handy dandy tool. So you can say, yeah, I want everything that's in the inbox and everything that's in the red items. I'm going to go ahead and everything that I sent out and select that. I've got everything that's saved, but and then if you got personal, see, I had set one up for this statewide exercise because I didn't know about this feature, and I just moved things over there as they came in. But if there's something in there that you want to include in this log, you select those. You say, when do you want this log to start? The date and the time. When do you want it to end? The date and the time. Do you want a separate entry for each recipient, or do you want to just have one long scrolling list? So you make that determination. Make sure your format is set correctly. If we're doing something local, I don't think you really have to worry about UTC time, but if you're interacting with somebody somewhere else, it's in another time zone or something that way, you would probably want to put that in UTC time. if there is a task ID, if there is a task name, something like that, just to give it an identifier or whatever, and then come down here and hit generate, it's going to generate this log for you. And you can put it in a CSV file. A CSV file is something you can send to somebody very quickly. It's just a simple text file. So, but you can generate a PDF, you can generate a CSV, and so you can get your 309 filled out. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the last of these I was going to cover, I'll go ahead and pop that open again. Template. Down here on the Gulf Coast, there's always a chance we're going to need one of these, hurricane report. The local weather report, I see we did not get our Brownsville Weather Service guy back tonight. That's unfortunate because I was going to point these out to him, but because we had talked last week about things that he might want added or whatever, but he's been in touch with Dr. Dave and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to let them work that out. But these are forms, severe weather, local weather, and hurricane that you could find yourself filling out. And I know that we had during that polar vortex there, what was that, winter before last? It was we were sending weather reports into the weather service like every 2 hours or something like that. So we filled these out for a while. I sent a couple of severe weather reports. Andy Treat was running the net at the time, and he reminded me that I really didn't need to do severe weather. So I sent local weather. So that all works out. Anyway, those are some forms that we see. There's a lot more on here that makes sense. For Texas, and there's different states, and again, American Red Cross. I assume that's American Red Cross. I'm not familiar. And that is it for templates. We talked briefly about global and personal folders. You can set up personal folders in here and have move things in here like I did with the statewide exercise. Also for global, if there's a specialized template that you need to do, like I said last week, there are those out on the internet that you can find. You can just go out and look for customized templates for WinLink, or whatever kind of internet search you do, and there are those individuals out there that will code those for you. They're XML files. And if, say, the Brownsville Weather Service needed a specific template that was just for them, one could be generated and gotten to them, and then everybody here in the valley would add that same template to their global folders, and that would make it available so all of us could communicate with the Weather Service and that kind of stuff. So that would just be an example of how to go through that. And I think that is pretty much it. I was going to show you one thing as far as when we receive these. I got this one selected, and I wanted to do one. Here's one from David Bridgewater that I got. And actually, I can get the one. We talked last week about when you first receive like a 213 form, and that's what this was. I'm going to go ahead and expand that out. Yep, that's a 213 form. The very first time you open this and click on that, it's going to open the template. It'll open in your browser just like that. The second time, or any time after that first time, you have to go click on the paperclip in order to open it. Well, when he sent this in, if I was going to respond to him, and during practice, all of the practice that we did leading up to the statewide exercise, I tried to respond to all of these that I could. And you can't really see when it shows up here, you can't really, you can click on it and it goes, hey, if you want to respond to this, here's how you do it. But just quickly, we can close that. If you want to respond to this, then you would just open it, just double click it and open the text version and hit reply. And it's going to open that form again, and it's going to have all of the stuff that he sent to me. And then I have ability to come down here and enter my text message back to him, fill out the replied by, the position, title, time and date, and WinLink asks you, well, do you want to use current time of day? And so anyway, you fill that out and hit submit, and that will then go into it'll be another message up here that will be sent back to, in this case, it would have been TJB, and you just hit post to Outbox. If you're doing peer-to-peer like we were during the exercise, you make sure that it's selected to peer-to-peer and hit post to Outbox, and then go ahead and do what you need to do to send it. So that's how, and there are not all of the forms are like that, but there are a few where if you're going to reply, or if you're going to forward them on, if you're going to add information to something like this and forward them on, you could do it that way too, because once that hits reply, you can add another call sign or another email address or something to that message before you post it. So that's what I wanted to cover there. And so if there's any questions, now would be just a perfect time. I should look over here because that's where the camera is, but you guys are all over here. So I would like for everyone on here to send me one of those forms. Just pick one. I don't care. WinLink check-in is about the easiest. If you want to do a 213 or a 205, you can send more than one if you want to. That's fine. And I'm going to respond back. I'm going to do this via Vera HF. So let's not make any real big files. And then after we do this little exercise, I'm going to do one on resizing pictures to make sure you got it small enough to send. And that'll be it for tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure I can connect here. I'm only running about 40 watts, but that should be plenty. You'd think it'd be plenty. That's not a very good signal. While you're working on it, I was going to point out, you can see up here, I got the red lines are spread out here. I've got it set to 2300. But I have my settings such that if I have a 500 come in, it will respond to it. In other words, it'll accept a 500 hertz message come in, and I do not have the tactical bandwidth.
What frequency are you on, Wayne?
I'm on 40 meters. Center frequency 7102. This is not peer-to-peer. I'm just on. I was just connecting to the RMS. We can do a peer-to-peer. That would be great if we want to do that. In fact, you want to?
Whatever your pleasure.
Okay. Let me switch. I want to switch to a peer-to-peer. And center frequency of 7098. The problem with me having this set to 2300, since most folks in RACES does the 500 hertz, and I agree with that. I can have a message come in and pick it up just fine on the 500 hertz bandwidth. However, if I just simply respond to that and try to send it back out, it's going to try to send it back out at 2300. And that's wrong. So, because whoever sent it to me on 500, they're probably listening on 500. And so that's on me to remember to change my setting to go back to 500. Hey, somebody's trying to connect me. Hmm. Yep, it's coming in at 500. So I'll have to, I will change my settings back to 500 before I send. It's kind of neat to watch your signal go out and see it come in on somebody else's machine. I've always thought like, oh, that's what it looks like on that end.
That didn't take long.
Nope. Now, did you send a file or was that just a ping? Because I didn't get anything in the inbox.
They're about to.
Standing by.
My system says it's still calling you.
Well, I'm certainly hearing the signal. Oh, there it goes. It says, hey.
Yeah, we got it.
There's a call coming in. Did we all get our update? You notice I'm on 172.1.
Yep.
Okay. And then in the middle of everything today, I was running through my checklist here today. I was running through that and just like everything stopped and the thing popped up or it goes, hey, we've updated our templates. Like, okay, all right, well, we'll go ahead and do that.
You should have gotten an ICS 213.
I am not seeing anything in my inbox.
It was in my outbox and it's gone.
Huh. That's kind of weird. I'm going to connect to you.
No, it doesn't show it in the sent items. So something wacky is going on.
Put her in your outbox and I will connect to you and see if
Let me see what's going on here, Wayne. Give me just a
all right,
second.
yep, no problem. I'm gonna real quick bounce out and go do a telnet and see what else is coming in here. And while you're looking at that, and then I'll come back into peer-to-peer.
Okay.
So we'll exit there. I'm going to telnet. We'll open that session. Now I do have my settings, like I said last week, I've got my settings such that it checks for incoming messages and I have to accept them before before I actually download them. So I got a couple. Well, I got one from you on regular standard. It was a standard WinLink text. And I got one from Dr. Dave. So there's the one from you, Brad.
Is that the 213 I sent?
It is. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then the one from Dr. Dave. Oh, what you're accounted for, Dr. Dave. And thanks for sending a check-in. Okay, so I got those. Those were standard WinLink submissions, and that came through just fine. I want to exit out of there and we'll go back to, are you wanting to try peer-to-peer again?
Your choice, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do one. I'd like to see something and make sure I select the right thing. Vera HF P2P. I want to real quick change my settings to, if I click the right button, it wouldn't be a problem. Click settings instead of exit. TNC setup. I want to change that to 500 and update that bad boy. That goes away. That goes blank. It comes back and that comes back. All right. I am on center frequency 7098.
Let her rip.
W9FX. Okay. I'm going to put your effects in there and we'll. I think I heard me.
You did.
I've got my Kenwood set up so that it automatically, when I'm go to 500 hertz, it throws it into data mode, which narrows the bandwidth. It helps with on especially 40 meters because we have a lot of folks across the border that like to chat this time of night. So I come down, I can kind of notch them out, or it's band pass actually. Okay, did not receive anything. However, it did connect successfully.
I will send you another one.
That'd be fine. How's it going there, Steve? Are you, if it'd be easier, you can send one via Telnet. That's fine. Or you can do RF. That's up to you. Your call. So the only thing we're probably not going to be able to cover as much as I kind of wanted to would be the radio only thing, but I put that link up there and I think we should all take a look at that and make sure we're set up to do radio only. Like I said, I had 3 stations set up to for pickup stations, and one of them decided, I don't know what the issue was, but anyway, he dropped off the list. W5KAM. I had him on there and I actually used that one 2 or 3 times. And then I tried it here, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months ago, and it wouldn't connect anymore. So, and he didn't show up on the list anymore either, as far as pickup stations.
Yeah, I think he was on my list too, which means I'm down to 1.
I've got KD5 REJ and N5TW. I've got both of those on favorites on 80 meters because that's been my best way to connect to them. But both of those have 40 meter versions. N5TW really likes 30 meters, but I can't really connect that on there.
I could when I was up in Kentucky. I would catch him on 20 meters and 30 meters every day. But then that guy's got a station that you have to see to behold.
That's what I heard. Yep. I think I even saw on his QRZ or somewhere, I saw pictures of his antenna farm. it's pretty amazing.
He has stacks.
Okay. Where are we at here? What do I need to be doing?
Oh, you've got a message in your inbox.
Well, I got 2. That's the ones from earlier though. For some reason, it's not transmitting. Now, you're sure you sent it peer to peer or not standard WinLink?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Although it says it didn't send it. That's interesting. Huh,
I
just set
can,
0.
I can try, connecting to you again.
You can do that, but it's not sitting in the outbox. Something weird's going on. This was a template.
You can just send a regular text message, see if it'll send just a regular text.
All right, let me write one of those.
You can be artistic or autistic. That's entirely up to you. Turn the volume down on mine a little. That's kind of irritating.
Okay, got one in the outbox. Here we go. Oh, you know what? I know what's happening. When I created the message, I forgot to tell it was going peer to peer. That's what's happening.
Yep. I bet you I'll get that when I'll get that later when I go back to Telnet.
Well, yeah, when I connect to Telnet, it'll pick them up and send them all out.
Yep.
Interesting though, it does not show them as being in the outbox any longer.
that should go to the outbox regardless of how it went.
Yeah, it should.
I'm gonna
have to be quick.
It's there we go. It's going to connect now, I believe.
And we're sending
Woohoo!
just a text message. Lord, it's a lot of data for a one-word message.
Well, it's got to send the time and date and the message ID and all the hoopla. So, yeah, it finds a way to compound the issue, but overall, I'm happy with it. I'm okay with the overhead, the data overhead, because it's a pretty slick way to go.
It is, yeah. I have nothing but kudos for the guys that write and maintain this.
It is amazing. It is successful. All right. Well, I'm gonna bounce back over to Telnet and see what's there to pick up. Very good. I'm going to download all the checked messages. There's your information form.
And where did that come from?
This is from D21FX.
No. I mean, how did it get to you?
Oh, I got it when I opened Telnet. So,
So it back channeled it.
Yep. It decided it was going to send it, but it was going to send it via Telnet, or
Okay.
if you'd been on a regular RMS, it would
Which explains why it's no longer in the outbox.
Right. Yeah. It should be in your sent file. So. And I got one from Steve. Thank you, sir. There's a sit rep. Very good. The only thing I don't like I said, some of these templates like this doesn't have the GPS data on it. I mean, and I'm not saying it should be on all of them. I'm not suggesting that at all, but a lot of these, if you wanted to map where you were getting your sit reps from, it would be nice if it had it on there. I mean, that's not up to us as users. That would be up to the WinLink folks to put it on the template. I mean, we can build our own custom templates. I've messed with XML back when I was working nuclear power. we did that a lot. There was several of our scheduling bits of software that we had to translate from one bit of software to another, and we did it via XML. I got pretty good at it, but since then, it's beyond rusty. So I need to look into that, but it's like it's one of those round to it.
Are you saying that the field situation report latitude and longitude don't flow into the GIS application?
I believe, let me open this form again.
Because the data is there.
Is
I
it?
just-
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is. Very good. I missed it because I always look for it between.
Right, it's usually in the header.
Yep, it's there. So really, let's see what I can do here. I'm going to go to the globe. That was a sit rep fail situation report. And we're going to display map. And looky there, he shows up on my map. Excellent. And then if we go with check-in forms, I haven't cleared it. I haven't cleared the ones from Roy the other day and Sid, but here's Dr. Dave's tonight, and Steve's and Brad's. So you're all on the map.
And the choices of maps, is there by any chance a Waffle House map?
There's GIS stuff. There's Bing, Google, OpenCycle, and OpenStreetMap. And there's a wiki map.
We're gonna have to talk to him about getting a Waffle House map. Do you know why I'm saying Waffle House?
No.
Because that's how FEMA judges the severity of a disaster, whether or not the Waffle House in that town is still open.
I understand. Well, now that would be kind of like a donut shop for
Yeah.
other careers. And yeah. Yep, I like it. I like it a lot. Very good. I'm gonna go respond to some of these. I want to do it via Telnet, so it goes kind of quick. It's not the one I wanted to respond to. Yes, close it. It's gonna be short and sweet, just so I can get the message back out. And since I'm on Telnet, I want to leave this as one link message. Post that to the outbox, and I'm going to close that. I'm going to open that and hit reply. Close. I could type. All right, 3 in the outbox, and away we go. And just like that, it's back out there. All right, we're running down to the last minute, so I'm gonna do one real quick on Telnet here. If we wanted to send a picture, I'm going to do a new message, and I'm going to put in K5 RAV E5MKV and W9FX. And I'm going to go to attachments, and I'm going to add an attachment. I did this earlier today and it worked okay. Go to my desktop and look for this. It's a 12 megabyte. There it is. a 12 megabyte file. Oh my God, it instantly turned red. So what we do is now I'm going to send this, I'm going to leave it a little bit biggish. So probably want to pick this up on telnet versus RF, but I'm still going to squeeze it way down. There's the graphic, and it's 12 meg in its current format. I want to resize. And it says, I don't understand this number here. It's 12, it's almost 12 megabytes. But the size I want it to be, I want it to be 15 kilobytes. So I'm going to change the size. It takes it a second or two, and it says, okay, there you are. We're going to save that. And I'm going to save changes, and I'm finished. And now it has added that resized graphic on there. And I'm going ahead, I'm not even going to put text in here. Okay, graphic. I'm going to post that to the outbox, and I want to send that. And you can see what size shows up in your inbox. I mean, how big physically the graphic is. Let's go ahead and send that out. And y'all should have that. If you're doing telnet now, you should have it most any time. If I bring that graphic up in its original size in like GIMP or the GNU Linux based or whatever, any of the graphics packages that you can manipulate graphics in, and tell it to display at its original size, it'll take up more than the whole screen. I mean, it's huge. And what you're going to end up with in your inbox is something that's not very big, but still legible, still easily readable and that kind of stuff. So hopefully.
Got it.
Excellent.
Works like a charm.
Yep. Handy dandy.
Size was 15,050 bytes.
Yep. So that worked out pretty good. I told it 15 and it came, it went through.
50 bytes of overhead.
Yeah. And that's true. That the whole thing, I mean, again, it take the time and date and the message ID and all that stuff gets included in the size. So yep, that's very good. I tried sending one via Vera HF today earlier. I tried it at I tried a 30K and I wasn't getting a real good signal. I think it was a W5 STX. And I don't know why, just propagation, whatever the issue was, but I saw that it was, I let it run for about a minute and it was 2% done or something like that. So I aborted that one and I went back and resized it to 5K and it zoomed right through, no problem at all. So, yeah, send it as big as you can. If like I said last week, if you are, you're going to send it in telnet, and you know that your recipient's going to receive it in telnet, you can leave it the full 120 or as close to 120 as it will allow, because you got overhead. And go ahead and send it. If it's, again, if you know it's telnet, no problem. Go ahead and send it. If there's a chance that somebody's going to try to receive this thing or download it via RF, you want to squeeze that back down. I try to keep things at 30K or less, 10, 15, 20, 25 long in there. So